On this episode, we chat about our recent Orlando staycation at the Marriott Grande Vista with a lunch at Sanaa at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. Today is June 13th, 2023, and this is episode 573 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Finally, if you're planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, it can be quite overwhelming, especially when it comes to dining at your 60 days out. If you do not get that dining experience you were hoping for, don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. And this really works. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
So today's episode is all about our weekend at the Marriott Grande Vista, and we actually had lunch at Sanaa. It was supposed to be a weekend at home. I told Jeremy a little while ago that just with my work and everything, I need weekends at home, because if not, I'm gonna lose my crap, man. I'm gonna lose it. So this was supposed to be a weekend at home, and our best friends, Jeremy has grown up with Rob and Tina. I know you've heard us talk about them. Our double whammy family. They're really more than, they're not friends, they're family. And we call ourselves, the kids started the double whammy family, and she was like, hey, we're going to be staying in this 2-bedroom, like, would you call it a suite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you tend to call these suites.
Okay. And she asked if we wanted to come. So Jeremy's like, we don't need a weekend at home. And I don't feel like being with them, I can just be myself. They're my family.
Well, we had a staycation.
We did.
I mean, still really, like,
We
you
did.
know, anything, I feel like we went down outside of going over to Animal Kingdom Lodge on the way down, and we'll talk about Sanaa in a little bit, was really the only time we left the resort other than the grocery shop. So it was like...
And to go to the outlets.
Well, we did go to the outlets. We'll talk about that too. But
Yes.
so she invited us, and obviously the kids want to go, and we thought we'd go down and we would just hang out. We actually were going to go to Universal on Friday night. By the time we got to the hotel, we were like, you know what? We're cool just hanging out. Let's have a little staycation.
Well,
And it
not
was
for
gonna
nothing.
rain.
It was supposed to rain, which it did.
Yeah.
Thunderstormed bad. Universal was closing at 7 and Islands was closing at 9.
Yeah.
So we kind of asked the kids, and basically the kids were like, no, we'd rather stay around the hotel, or resort, I mean. So we did. And yeah, that was super, super fun.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's just talk a little bit about the resort. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it. This can be booked through Main Street Magic Travel.
Woo!
So you can hit up Chuck, Amy, mainstmagictravel.com. This is one of those timeshare locations that also does cash rooms. I can tell you these rooms are anywhere roughly between about $160 to $260 a night for a studio room, basically, all the way up to the 2-bedroom that we stayed in.
I should say, is a studio basically what was on
what our portion was.
Cool.
And so this is probably 15 minutes from SeaWorld, maybe 20 minutes from Disney. I'm sorry, 15 minutes from Universal, 20 minutes from Disney, and 5 minutes from SeaWorld.
Mm-hmm.
This is near the Vistana that we stayed at back in March for Lacey's dance thing.
And where you have to go to drive to get to these places, it's completely like simple, and you're not in crazy traffic.
Yeah.
It's almost like back roads.
Yeah, I mean, we had to hop on I-4 for 2 miles, not even, when we were coming back from Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a true resort. I mean, there are tons of pools. There's tons of activities all day long, restaurants, bars, really good merchandise shop, its own coffee shop, boat rentals, paddle boat rentals, pontoon fishing rentals, live music. We saw Saturday night for a little bit before the storms came.
Oh, that was sad.
I know. So why don't we start with talking about the room layout, and you can basically start with the portion that we stayed in.
Okay.
Because much like when you look at the deluxe resorts and DVC options and stuff over at Disney, these have lock-off rooms where you can either take a studio and have a studio, you can take a one-bedroom and have a one-bedroom, or they have connecting doors that can open up to give you the two-bedroom. So talk a little bit about the layout, which I think is super interesting because you get the two entryways.
Oh, it was really cool.
With this type of thing.
So you walk into our room, which I don't remember the number, but the door, you walk into the door, and right as you walk in, you immediately have to your left is a sink, a larger than tiny refrigerator, but not a large refrigerator, with a freezer. You have coffee pot, and some paper towels, I believe, like to wash some little dishes,
Toaster?
Really cute. Yes, really cute. Microwave too, I believe. You open the bottom.
I never opened it.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure microwave. So in this studio, you have quite a bit of stuff. Directly to your right is your toilet, bathroom area, all together. You have a toilet, you have a sink, and you have your shower tub. The sink was one sink, but plenty of counter space. It was great.
Yeah.
Then obviously you kind of keep walking into the room, and you have your normal this was a king. I started to say two queens, but they do have two queens, but this was a king bed, and then a pull-out sofa that was between a full queen-ish. Yeah. And then you have an actual little balcony. We were on the first floor. I love that all the first floor balconies were completely screened in.
That was super nice.
Yes. So A, no bugs. B, no danger noodles or anything else.
And it was great because when Tina and I went to check in, which took quite some time, they were having a problem with their key card system. But Jeremy, who checked us in, was like,
Nice
do you have a
name.
request of where you want to be? And we were like, close to the pool. He's like, main pool? Said, sure. He's like, first floor? We're like, sure. We were close to the main pool on the first floor.
Yep.
But I will say, if you are going here, I would recommend the first floor, not only for ease of access, but the fact that they are the only ones that are screened.
Yes,
the
because
other balconies were not screened.
Correct.
And I can tell you, summer, the gnats are out. I actually was running up to Publix earlier, and I saw Karen, our friend, out front, and stopped to talk to her. And we're both sitting there just swatting gnats away the whole time we're trying to talk to each other.
Oh my goodness.
So having that is really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this portion of the room, like if you and I go back here, we would just get that.
Perfect.
But it was wonderful because then you had a full pull-out couch bed.
Yes, you did.
So you could sleep 4 in here.
Right. Correct.
Now talk about the one bedroom.
Well, I was
gonna
finish in our room. You have an actual cute little table that had 2 chairs, so you don't have to eat in your bed if you had food.
Yeah.
Again, there was a balcony on our outside, and they had chairs too, so you could have your coffee at morning, have a cocktail at night, wine, beer, whatever you drink, or just sweet tea if you don't. So. It was really cool. So then there was a locked off door that we opened, and we kept open, but unfortunately it kind of kept shutting. So one, we propped open with a bar stool for the door. And then we just locked it. So then the lock stuck out,
the
and then
because otherwise you were locking yourself out of each of the rooms.
Yeah, which was weird.
Which was a little weird.
We wanted to be all together.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they didn't have an option to stay open. Like even if they had one of the little hooks on the back of the door.
I know we were trying. We needed some foot stoppers, but anyway. So going into this, let's back out, and let's go ahead and come in the door. When you come in the door of the other one, immediately to your left is a bathroom, but kind of like almost like a Jack and Jill,
basically. Yeah,
because it goes through.
Right, but that portion had a sink and a toilet,
and then a door,
and then another door that opened up to additional sink and a huge
beautiful shower,
which would be part of leading out to a barn door to the master bedroom with a king bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then access to the balcony there. And then, not obviously, but then when you walk through the door again, so I was just telling you immediately to your left, immediately to your right is a full-fledged kitchen. Full giant fridge and freezer with working ice, a sink, a stove. I mean, you name it, like everything.
All your plates, all your utensils, all your cooking.
Dishwasher, everything. Nice bar with some cute little bar stools. And then obviously if you walk straight is your living area where you have a couch and you have this giant glass dining table. Again, TVs in every room. And I say again, I actually didn't mention that, but great place. This just has a window, but it has a door access off the master bedroom for your balcony, which is super cool. That couch pulls out also. So we had plenty of space. And what's even nicer is even with everything pulled out, we did bring Ella, which is the cousin and family to Rob and Tina. So we actually needed an extra place for someone to technically sleep. So we did bring an air mattress, plenty of room.
Yeah.
So funny. The girls, they make me laugh because literally we didn't need the air mattress because 3 girls slept in the foolish, queenish pull-out couch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of funny because the first night I woke up because Rob wasn't there. I woke up and there's nobody in the pull-out couch. I made this bed. I was like, what the heck? Nobody's here. Well, come to find out, 2 girls slept with Tina in the king bed. And then, everybody else slept. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then the next night, it's just Kaylin in a bed by herself. And I'm like, what happened? And
funny.
they just...
But there was,
sleep, the 3 of them.
Plenty of room. Yes. And one thing you forgot, in the kitchen also opens up and it's a stacked washer dryer.
Oh, thank you.
So, I'm going to tell you, this place, as far as room goes, as far as amenity goes, this is one with Gary, any of our other overseas friends that come out here for 2 weeks. This is a spot.
I'm not going to lie. I'm sad we only stayed 2 nights.
I am too. Lacey even said something on the way back. She's like, I wish that we had stayed longer. Can we go back?
Lacey or Kaylin?
Kaylin. No, Lacey said it to me this morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Lacey said, when I picked Lacey up on the golf cart from Rob and Tina's, that's when she said it. This would be a really good spot. Friday evening, we went to Publix, which, first of all, this is why you use vacation grocery delivery. Yeah, vacation grocery delivery, FL.com.
Do not recommend.
Rhonda came back with an outfit. Because when you go to your Central Florida Publix, they've got a bunch of Disney merch and stuff.
I got me Stitch stuff.
Really well priced, to be honest. But we just impulse buy. We filled a shopping cart for 2 nights. It was absurd. But honestly, that is a really good read. When you look at it and go, all right, vacation grocery delivery charges a fee. Everybody does, of course.
Right.
You actually are going to save money in the long run because you're not there just wandering around without any sort of rhyme or reason, impulse buying. We spent more money than we would have if we had just done a vacation grocery delivery. And the only reason we didn't is because this was all last minute.
Right.
We had no plan. Right. Otherwise, we would have obviously used them. And they will deliver here.
Absolutely. But a big giant but is we only had a 2-hour drive down the road. So we were able to take back every single thing that we did not eat.
Yeah, nothing went to waste.
Drink. Exactly. But if you are staying there for like a week or something, this is where, yes, Jeremy's right. 100% get vacation grocery delivery because you're not there impulse and buying. And if you're going to fly home, you got to know, all right, if I'm here a week, you can buy 2 sodas and get 1 free. Maybe you shouldn't do that because
how many are you going to drink out of that and plan ahead? And we picked up, we had a very full lunch at Sanaa. So basically I picked up stuff to make a charcuterie for Friday night for the adults. We got the kids Lunchables and ramen. We planned a whole big taco night for Saturday night.
Which was
we were
amazing.
able to cook. Yeah, we were able to cook everything right there in the room. Saved a ton of money there. We ate by the pool bar Saturday. So talk a little bit about the amenities, the pool area, the restaurant, the pool bar that we ate at.
I mean, this place is amazing. Yeah.
This place is huge.
It's huge. It's amazing.
Full golf course.
Yep. Our balcony looked that over. Bat houses everywhere. I freaking loved it. And I hope my sweet, amazing husband got an idea of how he can hang ours.
I don't. You gotta buy like
Are
a
you
30,
serious?
You gotta buy
Come
like
on,
a 30-foot
man.
metal
There's so many
pole.
you could see. Like
I don't know if the HOA would allow it.
Wow.
I'll find out because I did build a bat house during lockdown.
You
of COVID.
did, and I want to
It's been
use
sitting.
it.
It's been sitting in our garage, but then I realized that you have to put it like 30 feet in the air, which caused a bit of a conundrum. So
Well, and see, we saw them all over. Which
and we
is
saw
super
bats flying at night.
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Cool. I see them in our house.
I know.
Like you don't want them in our. You don't want them in our attic.
What's the reason that they fly that way? Isn't there a reason? Is that to avoid other predators or something?
I think so.
'Cause they fly like zigzag, like
All
they all
crazy.
look like they're drunk.
Yeah.
It's all
100%,
over the place.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to the main pool, it's super cool. Beautiful pool. It did remind me a little bit of Vegas and a little bit of.
It was packed.
It was not only packed, but the water was kind of murky.
Yeah,
looking
water was a little
after
murky.
A while.
But this is one of those areas where you can pretty much have drinks by the pool and in the pool, and so my guess is that they are potentially over using chemicals, knowing that
Possibly.
it's just.
Well, anyways, the pool's really cool. There's an actual sauna that you went in, you and Tina.
Tina and I went in.
I'm not doing that.
Yep.
There is
Hot.
I bet. There is a giant screen, and it was super cool because we were there, and I don't know why they completely picked like complete Disney.
Yeah.
But they played Mulan during the middle of the day. Just it's a giant bright screen that it doesn't need to be dark. Like you can see everything.
Big LED.
Then after that was Camp Rock. There was water aerobics going on, which anybody could have joined. It was super cool. If I'd have known, I might have, but I did just have another session done on my arm, so I couldn't submerge it. So I was like, well, that's fine. Super cool though. Then you have this awesome bar so this bar was elevated basically upstairs, up a ramp. And when it did thunder and lightning, it did not have to close down because it was elevated up off the floor of the pool. So we actually sat there one night and had a couple of drinks. And then the other pool that we went to where the live music guy was just across this amazing little bridge. Super cute. Lights up at night.
They had little like archways,
Yep.
like half moon archways going above it
Yep.
that were all lit up with LED lights and
Yep.
stuff. This
Super
place
cool.
was beautiful.
It was. So we went over there, and there's some construction going on over there. And there's some scaffolding going on, but where we were was perfect. The guy sang amazing. We're excited for my birthday because he's going to be Pat O'Brien's.
Blake. Yeah. So they ended up having to clear the pool deck area, and they kind of put us underneath somewhere, and we just started talking to the piano player, Blake, because he was just so super talented. It was just really neat just to like talk to him and hear his method and what songs he knows. He showed me a list of over 80 Disney songs that he can play off the top of his head.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
we were just chatting with him and all, and he ended up not getting to go back on due to
Which
the
was
thunder and
sad.
lightning. But when we were chatting with him, he's like, yeah, I said, if you from here, where else do you play? He said, well, I actually do Universal sometimes at Pat O'Brien's. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, we're pass holders there too. And we're going next month for my daughter and my wife's birthday. He's like, when? I said, we'll be there July 20th to 23rd. And he's like, just got my schedule yesterday. I'll be at Pat O'Brien's on July 21st, which is Rhonda's birthday. So 8 p.m. I was like, Blake, we're going to come out and see you, man.
Yep.
He's like, please do. He's just, it was cool. We
Yep.
had a great time.
We did.
I'll go back and we really liked the Westgate, based again on size and amenities. We really liked the Vistana, based on size and amenities. This place was nice, though. Those two are not near as nice.
Even Rob liked
when it comes down. Yeah, when it comes down to the rooms.
Yeah,
like the Vistana and the Westgate are dated. They're very, very dated. This, honestly, if somebody had told me that this Marriott opened 1 year ago, I would have believed them. Everything was super clean. Everything seemed new.
It was, but it wasn't like a year ago, babe.
I'm saying though, this was nice. This was nice.
It was.
Like it was at the same price, if not possibly cheaper than the Westgate and the Vistana. This should not be the same price. This should not be as cheap as it is.
Okay.
Like $160 a night.
Yeah.
For a studio, $260 a night. Like I really, really liked it. I would
Good.
go back. And I think not only would
100%.
this be a great place if you're going, all right, we're doing Disney. Okay. We're doing Universal. Okay. SeaWorld. Okay. You're doing all three of them. Even better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's a lot around it. You know, if you don't want to eat at the restaurants that are on property, then you've got tons of stuff around you that you can do.
Yep.
The pizza was good at the pool bar. I still think the shrimp burrito was not good at all.
I was hungry and I thought it was good. I didn't think it was amazing. I wasn't like you though. You were very, very like,
yeah,
this is hot garbage.
I had two bites and I was like, this isn't good. And so I ordered a pizza.
Yep.
But it was great because I got to get a Hawaiian pizza because you ate the rest of the shrimp burrito, so you didn't want anything to eat. And I got my Hawaiian pizza.
Yep.
So
and then later that night we got ice cream, but it was super fun.
Yeah,
Great.
fire pits out there,
Great
getting
weekend.
movies at night and during the day, as
Yep.
Rhonda said, by the pool. Just, I was really super impressed with this place. So I would go back 100%.
Yep.
You know, now for us, we still love to stay on property if we're going to be hitting Disney hard. But with the girls not being pass holders, this could become another Universal option more so.
100%.
I think
Yep.
that we would look at. You know, now we're doing Cabana Bay when we go for y'all's birthday. I would not pass that up.
Oh no,
But
it has a lazy
think about-
river. I'm
right.
excited for lazy.
But think about this, right? For 3 nights at Cabana Bay, we're paying $730. Now, we're going to take a lot of advantage of going to the parks and City Walk and all that stuff. But basically, for the same price, you could stay in a 2-bedroom at this Marriott Grande Vista. That's pretty dang impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, highly, highly recommend.
Yep.
You want to talk food, Rhonda? We don't talk enough about dining anymore, I don't think.
Yes, let's go to Sanaa. I'm so excited.
Why? What was... Now, first of all, we had not done a meal at Sanaa. We have done during reopening and COVID times. We had gone down and they were kind of a grab and go or a mobile order. We had done bread service. We had done stuff like that. We had not sat down since July of 2019.
Oh my goodness,
So
seriously?
almost 4 years.
Wow.
What
Okay.
was a driving factor for us to choose and go have lunch at Sanaa?
I actually didn't realize this until you told me she was there. But our amazing, sweet friend Carson, she was there, and Jeremy was like, you know, let's do this. We would. He knew Tina would love the bread service. We're like, are the kids wanting to go? And it was crazy because the kids were all like, yes. So I'm like, ooh, okay, we have a family of
8.
8.
We had a party at 8.
Um,
And here's a little kind of tip and trick, because we only booked this probably about 3 weeks ago. I booked it for 4 because I thought Rob was coming Friday, and we figured the kids would hang at the hotel, and then we would all come over and do a late lunch. I was booking it for like close to 3. And we found out all the kids wanted to come. Like Kaylin really wanted to come see Carson.
Yep.
And if you remember Carson, we originally met, we figured out 4 years ago, and she was at Three Bridges.
Yep.
And she was a hostess and became one of our very good friends, almost like a daughter to us, because we found out she is much, much younger than us. We've got 20 years on her. But yeah, so she ended up leaving Disney. She went to Universal for a little bit. She worked at the Marriott. Which one is it? I can't remember. World Center, I think. And now she was back at Disney. I was like, let's go see Carson. So we had the reservation for 4. And we find out that the kids want to come. Rob is not coming down Friday. He's coming down Saturday, but there's still going to be 8 of us. So I'm like, all right, I can't adjust it to 8. It's mouse dining alerts set. But then I was like, well, if there's another reservation for 4, we'll go ahead and book it. And I texted Carson. I was like, we have 2 reservations for 4. She's like, all right, when you get here, just ask them to combine the reservation. We should be able to seat you all together. And that's basically what we did. So it's just one of those things. If you're looking for dining and you potentially have 6 people and you can't get a reservation for 6, but you can get 2 reservations for 3, it's worth maybe booking those 2 for 3. And then it's arriving, I'd probably say 15, 20 minutes early.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit before your reservation, and just saying, hey, we got 2 reservations. Is there any way that you could combine them? And most likely they'll be able to do that. So that's what we did.
Yep.
So we had all 8 of us. But why don't you run through our normal bullet points real quick for Sanaa, for anyone who is not familiar with what has arguably been one of our favorite restaurants over the years, yet we hadn't been there in 4 years.
So it is located at Disney's Animal Kingdom Villas in the Kidani Village. And this is African and Indian themed. It is unique dining themed because you can see the animals.
Yeah.
You do get your AP discount and your Disney Visa, which is only 10%. Right now, though, because they are really happy for us APs,
VI pass holder month.
You get 20%, which was huge.
When you're dropping money on 8 people,
huge.
20% is big.
Doesn't cover alcohol, but that's fine because we had every child got an entree.
Yeah, they did.
Under the kids menu, but still. And then us adults got one as well. So you do have hours, which is a grab and go breakfast. You do have lunch from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then you have dinner from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Here's something too that, all right, we've been pass holders now for what, 8 years?
Okay.
We've been doing a podcast for 6, almost 600 episodes. And we were sitting there. We made a reservation for 2:45 p.m. Lunch ends at 3. I will now look to bridge that gap between lunch and dinners when we make reservations for like a late lunch because, and Carson told us, she's like, these late lunches are not busy at all. Like we shut down the lunch at the restaurant basically because nobody was there. There's a 2-hour gap in between. One thing that was great is, first of all, it was very quiet.
It was.
We literally were the last people sitting in there when we were finishing up. Now, of course, we're friends with Carson, so it was important to us that we got to like talk to her and catch up to her, but she didn't have any other tables while we're finishing. Nice. And she got to stand there and talk to us. Yep. And, we're people that love interacting with the cast members and all, and to think of going somewhere and going, you know what? We could sit here and interact. And she even said she likes this time because she gets to spend more time with her guests and talk to them and get to know them and stuff. And just, I thought this was such a great time. We weren't right on the window to see the animals, but nobody was sat there so we could see the animals. We got to meet Edward. There's a crane that they have that apparently loves his reflection and loves to come up to the window right there and look in. And so, so we got to meet Edward. So that was great. But I thought it was such a good time, like that we were there. And especially, we got the 5 kids together. Every couple minutes, we're having to be like, we're out at a meal. Y'all need to chill out a little bit.
There's a
but
time
it was a
and a
little
place
bit easier,
to talk about farts and poop.
And it's
that
not.
Was not the
Sanaa
time
for lunch,
or the place.
No, it is not. And that's only 2 of the 5 children that predominantly are talking about farts and poop. So, and we can let y'all guess who those are. One of them's ours. I'll tell you that much. All right, let's talk a little bit about the menu. Let's talk about some cocktails. You can go ahead and say what cocktail you got first, babe, because you're doing your go-to. You had to find out if they could make one, right?
And I was tired. I don't know why. I was tired. So of course I wanted a espresso martini, and I had coffee that morning. We just were busy, and we had to go to the beauty supply, and I was tired. So I got an espresso martini, and Carson was so cute. She came out and she brought it to me, and she goes, "All right, taste it and make sure it's okay." And I'm like, okay. She goes, "We have a baby bartender." And I was like, "A baby bartender?" She's like, "Yeah." And that's what they call them when they're fresh.
It was literally their first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, really?" And I was like, okay. So I tasted it hesitantly, but it was fantastic. I was like, "Tell him, good job. Good job, baby." This is off
menu.
Yes,
this is something to ask.
They have a chocolate martini. And then first of all, I will tell you, I asked like this. I asked Carson, I said, "Do y'all do coffee?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then I said, "Okay, so can you make me an espresso martini?" Because if they didn't do coffee, I knew they could not do that. I'd have to go with the chocolate martini, which I would have done for sure, because chocolate does have caffeine in it. So it's a chocolate liqueur, it's vanilla vodka, and a white creme de coco and frangelico. So, with that being said, I was like, I'll do a chocolate martini if I need to, but I'd prefer espresso. And she did. And it was really, really good.
Good. Yeah. Carson told us, first of all, she was so good. Like, I would love to see their training because of all of the words that they have to be able to correctly pronounce and explain menu items. Like, I just didn't want to forget about this part. It was neat because we've known Carson for 4 years. Like, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, Lacey was 8 when we met her. Yep. Like, she's one of these cast members that's seen our kids grow up, and we hadn't seen her for about a year.
Yep.
So it was super cool. But she let us know that there are specialty cocktails that are unique to Sanaa. One of those is a golden haze margarita, a painted lemur. There's a coconut cooler. Tina went with the Malawi mango margarita, which was a frozen blend of tequila, tangerine liqueur from South Africa. And that's why these are unique, because they're using African-inspired liquors and liqueurs.
Correct.
It's got a mango puree and fresh lime juice for $16.50.
She
Carson
thought it
set
was
it down.
best.
She took one sip and said, "This is the best drink I've
Yep.
ever had in my
Yep.
entire life." And it was big.
It was, and she let us taste it, and it was good.
It was very
Really
good,
good.
very
Mhm.
refreshing.
Mm.
I opted for the African Star Mojito for $14.50. This has Star African rum, Van der Hum tangerine liqueur from South Africa, and then it's got fresh lime juice and mint. This was a nice kind of lightly citrus taste, or I guess on a mojito. So I really enjoyed it. I
Good.
thought it was great.
Good.
You followed yours up with the dirty martini, which
I
you
did.
enjoyed,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, it was very good. Very normal.
Very dirty.
Well, Tina was like, "How's your salt water?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fantastic." So yes, it was very nice and salty. It was great.
Yeah. We'll move on to a little bit of the menu. Let's move on first to our appetizers. There are 5 different appetizers. We would go ahead and get 3 of them. So
Oh yeah.
we did not get the samosas for $10. These are potato and pea samosas with tamarind and mango chutney. That is plant-based, and then they have a plant-based salad sampler, which includes black-eyed peas, watermelon and pickled fennel, and a beet tremula for $10. What did we start off with? If you go to Sanaa and you don't get this, what do you don't go to Sanaa? Like, what are you doing with your life? And many people will go and just get this and some drinks and call it a
we've
day.
done that before.
We have plenty of times.
Sat at the bar. It's amazing. So this is the Indian style bread service for $21. You get 5 breads with 9 accoutrements, basically.
Yeah, sauces. I guess
Sauces.
you could call them. Yeah.
You get your 5 breads are a traditional naan, a garlic ginger naan, a spiced naan, onion.
Yeah, an onion
One-
kucha
yeah.
and a paneer paratha.
Yep.
Those are
Yep.
your 5 different breads.
Yep.
That
One
being
had
said,
like cheese in it. Whatever.
that was the
which one-
paneer.
Okay.
Yep. Had like a cheese in it.
Yep.
I would suggest getting the way that it is served
Yes.
and get all 5. But if for some reason you're like, I just don't like onions, like
Right.
Russell, our good friend across the street, does not like onions, you could say, can I have 5 traditional naans?
Correct.
Can I have 5 paneer parathas?
Right.
Can I get 3 of this, 2? Like, you can get whatever you want,
Yep.
but I'd recommend you get it as is.
I do too. Everybody ate it. So then
I wish we would have videoed.
we look like homeless people.
It was like seagulls attacking a loaf of bread on the beach.
Yeah, it was
when she
awful.
set that bread down, we were
Kind
all
of.
so hungry.
We were.
And the kids, which I loved, the kids loved it.
All of it. Yep.
They loved it.
They even tried some of the accompaniments,
Mhm.
accoutrements, whatever you want to call them, sauces. You have a cucumber raita. You have a roasted red pepper hummus. You have a mango chutney. You have a tomato date jam. You have a tamarind chutney, coriander chutney, garlic pickled red chili sambal, or a spicy jalapeno lime pickle. Now, you are also able to go, well, I don't like the spicy this. I don't like the hummus.
Yeah,
I
mix
don't
these
like...
up as you please
You
as well.
can say, I would like, we love the pickled garlic,
Oh,
garlic pickle.
That stuff is so freaking good. And the
So
order that
good.
Rhonda read them is order from spice level, where you're starting
Yes.
with, you're starting with the cucumber raita and the roasted red pepper have none.
Correct.
Mango chutney is very cooling. You get all the way up to that spicy jalapeno or the red chili sambal. Those are a bit spicy, but I don't think anything that's like crazy spicy. The kids aren't going to eat them,
Right.
but it's not like burn your face off spicy.
No. And this pickled garlic is my favorite. So if we ever like, and then of course the, what was the green one?
That was the jalapeno one.
Spicy jalapeno lime pickle. It reminded me honestly of what you put on steak. What am I
Yeah,
trying to say?
chimichurri.
Thank
It's
you.
kind of like a slightly spicy chimichurri sauce.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. But I mean, like, I could have done without the mango chutney. I'm super happy that we had it so everybody could taste
Mm-hmm.
it. But that pickled garlic, I'd be like, can I have some more of this?
know.
Can I have some more? And I would just eat that.
And it's fun to mix them. It's fun to
It
take
is.
like the red chili sambal, eat that, and then
Mhm.
go to the cucumber
Mhm.
because it's nice and cooling. This is not a bottomless dish, but you can
No.
order additional bread at a cost. I believe they're $2 per piece.
Mhm.
So we had Carson bring a whole other round of the 5 different breads.
Right. And
But
instead
again,
of,
we could have only gotten the traditional or the
correct,
cheese or whatever
but we went
wanted.
ahead and just did
Yeah.
all 5.
Yeah. So, this is, personally, I think this is the best appetizer shareable dish on all of property.
Yeah.
In my opinion. This is an experience like no other. It's absolutely amazing.
Yep.
All right. We also decided to get the seasonal soup, which was not a plan. I already had game planned. I already kind of knew what we were doing. And then Carson said a couple things for today, specials. The sustainable fish of today is a Corvina. And that comes in one of the poachy-inspired dishes, as well as their fish curry, their seafood curry. And then they have a seasonal soup for $9. And it was tomato bisque with chunks of paneer cheese in it. And I was
it's a non-melting cheese, which
sounds
is
good.
really
Yeah.
crazy.
They used to have the paneer cheese. I don't know if they still do, over at Landscapes of Flavor
Oh.
over in Art of Animation in the
Nice.
food court. So I was like, all right, if we don't get tomato bisque and it's on a menu, like, we have to do it. Like, that's our thing now, right? We should have gotten one to go in a coffee cup. But
Okay.
What did you think of the tomato
It was fantastic.
bisque?
It was a little weird for the cheese because it was like, I guess, almost like a crouton cheese. It's really weird.
Yep. Like 1/2-inch cubes?
Yeah,
3/4-inch cubes?
But it was good. The tomato soup was fantastic.
Outstanding.
It was just, like I said, weird because it's cheese, so it's not crispy and crunchy.
But it's soft. But don't think,
It is
don't think
soft.
of like a cheddar where it has has a bite to it. It's
True.
very soft.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, for a cheese that doesn't melt, it melts in your mouth,
Mm,
but it doesn't
okay.
melt in the hot soup.
Okay.
So I loved this tomato
Good.
bisque. I pretty much licked the bowl.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. What else did we get as an appetizer?
So we got the lamb kefta. It is char-grilled ground lamb with couscous salad and ginger pearl chutney for $15. This was really good. I think it was cooked really well.
They were like little patties.
It was cooked really well for somebody who doesn't like something more on the raw side, I guess, or real pink.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too overcooked, so the flavor and everything was fantastic.
It was so good.
So.
And the couscous and the chutney, like getting a
Mhm.
bite of everything together. It had some arugula on it. Like everything together was just
Super good.
absolutely
Mhm.
delicious. I really, really enjoyed this a lot. If we move on to the entrees, so, we talk a lot about my parents specifically and going, all right, this is a place that they could go. This is not a place for my parents to go.
No.
The simplest thing they have on the menu, and you would have to really dumb it down, is the burger, which I actually would like to get.
I
It
just started to
sounds
say, I was
amazing.
looking at the burger, but it's spice mustard
Mhm.
and
Peppadew goat cheese served
which-
with Sanaa chips and a pickle spear for $20.
yeah, that
But you like,
goat cheese, they probably would be like, no.
yeah, and I don't know that they've got like, Americans sitting in the
Yeah.
back. They probably don't. They do have some different vegetable curries, a shrimp curry, and those types of things. What Tina got was the tandoori chicken
Mm-hmm.
for $21. This is traditional naan. Rocket, which I asked Carson, what is rocket? It's arugula.
Mhm.
It comes with pickled onions, tomato, and a sambal mayonnaise. Tina wasn't so sure about the sambal mayonnaise, so she
Correct.
asked for it on the side. By the time she was done with this dish, she was like, they could have just drizzled it all over the top and I'd have been fine with it. Like,
She loved it.
she loved it. It was the traditional naan topped with the tandoori chicken and then all of the other toppings, and then normally would be drizzled with that sambal mayonnaise. Yeah, she absolutely loved this. And
She ate all of it.
oh yeah.
Like, which was funny because when Carson came back, she's like, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Carson's like, I tried to make you another one just in case if you don't think that
Her
you think the
plate
other one
was
would
clean.
be good. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was incredible. We opted for the pochi inspired, so you can choose one from The Journey, which would be a seafood curry, a butter chicken, braised beef, or pork vindaloo. Then you choose one from the Harvest, which is all plant-based. There's a Rajma Masala, a chickpea wat, and a Sukumi wiki or a lentil dal served with scented basmati rice. Asked Carson's opinion. What did she think was better, the beef or the pork vindaloo? She said she thinks the beef is super duper good. And then I said, what is Sukumi wiki? She said it's basically like collard greens. And Rhonda loves collard greens.
So good.
I don't care for them, but we went ahead and got that.
Yes. With the scented basmati rice.
Yeah. So this comes out in 3 small bowls,
Mhm.
each item in a bowl. And then we were sharing, so they gave us an extra plate, but you
Yep.
can kind of assemble this on its own, eat it separate, whatever. What did you think of this?
It was fantastic. The greens were amazing. Had a bunch of tomato stuff in it. Fantastic. Had a little bit of a bite to it, but nothing too much.
Yeah.
That basmati rice. Oh my God. It was fantastic.
It was so good.
It was so, I loved the
scent.
the scent of it, the taste of it. It was so good. And then of course the beef with it, like everything by itself was fantastic. But then like when you put that beef with the rice,
Yeah.
it just kicked it up a whole nother level, and it was fantastic. I loved it. And then we saved it, and we were on our way home, and I had to go to work, and I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. So I sat in the back of my truck because Kaylin drove us home today. I sat in the back of my truck and totally, literally just ate the rest of the rice and the beef, and it was fantastic cold. So yeah, this was a fantastic dish.
Yeah, it's like a pot roast, super tender pot roast
Mhm.
with these African inspired flavors. It was outstanding.
Yep.
I loved it. And we had never done this dish before.
Mm-mm.
Most of the time we've done appetizers, we've done the bread service, and we
Mhm.
haven't really gotten a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved absolutely everything about it. I thought it was so stinking good. We can talk a little bit about the kids because they all got their own meals.
they
They
did.
do have a fish dish
Mm-hmm.
for kids. But what are the other 3 items? And amongst 5 children, they covered all 3 of these. A couple
They
of
sure
them
did.
doubled up on it. What are the different things we have for the kids' entrees? And then you're going to get to choose 2 of the side selections. So
Right.
talk about these.
So one of the kids got a cheese pizza, and I think with that she got the mac and cheese, and then Pumbaa's dessert grub. Then 2 children got the butter chicken with seasonal vegetables, rice, and
Lacey got
then
the
the Pumbaa's
Grub.
dessert grub.
There were a lot of Pumbas.
There was. Another child got a cheeseburger without cheese, just a burger.
Like, that's literally what my parents would have to order.
Yeah.
From the kids' meal.
Yeah. And they could.
Yeah.
And
sure.
then they got, I believe it was a fruit cup and Pumbaa's dessert grub. So Pumbaa's dessert grub, like Tina was like, I kind of want some. Like, would you get one? Talking to her son. So he ended up, well, then all the other kids, like there was probably
4 of them.
There was 4
there were
on
4
the
of them.
table.
Kaylin's the only one that didn't get it.
Are you
Because
sure? Okay.
she got the butter chicken with the rice and the seasonal vegetables,
Okay.
which was literally just corn and peas out of a
It
can.
was.
That was not good.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's a kid's.
Mac and cheese was good.
Yep.
Mac and cheese was
It's a kid's
legit like
menu.
mac and cheese.
But this Pumbaa's dessert grub is literally like, what would you say? Like a mousse.
Dirt
with-
cake kind of,
yeah,
right?
dirt
like
cake,
your traditional
mousse,
dirt
But
cake.
I think there was like some type of like crackery graham marshmallow on
Oh,
the
okay.
bottom.
I didn't try any.
Oh
but
my
everybody
God,
cleaned
it
their
was
bowl.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. So then it was funny because Carson came back to us and said, do y'all want any dessert? And I was full, and the Pumbaa's dessert grub was good. So I literally asked her, okay, do you have bread pudding or do you have creme brulee? And she was like, no. But they did have
What did they have for the desserts?
she did say a dark chocolate. So this is an
Mm.
African triple chocolate mousse for $9. A dark chocolate, milk chocolate from Madagascar, and then from Guyana, the dark was, and then a blonde chocolate almond biscuit, and strawberries. It was one of those things where
It sounded good.
it did, but I
ate
ate
enough.
some of the Pumbaa's grub.
Yeah.
Which then the only other question I would have, because they also have another one, I cannot pronounce this name, but there's butterscotch pudding, almond cake, almond coffee strudel, pineapple mango, and a shortbread.
Yeah.
There's another, which is a coconut rice pudding with cashew streusel and saffron poached fruit. All these are all $9. I think if anything, I would literally ask, is there any way instead of that dessert, if I could get the Pumbaa's grub? It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. It had little gummy worms on top.
I wish I had tried some.
You should have. I told you to. You were like, nah, I'm good. It
Yeah.
was just...
I was still licking the bowl of that tomato bisque.
And it was funny because, like, I've made dirt cake, don't get me wrong. But whatever they did to this one is phenomenal. Like, it was, like
That's
I said,
great.
it might have just been that whatever's underneath it. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. I think that's cool that that's like an option as one of your sides is to get the dessert. And there's a lot of the restaurants that do
absolutely.
this.
Yes. And I think that's great because when you have the kids, and here's what's great too. And, you know, Carson didn't blink an eye. And I know it's so funny because Disney says kids' ages are from 3 to 10.
Yeah,
correct?
3 to 9,
3 to 9.
technically.
The youngest child with us was
12.
12,
Yeah.
Lacey, which will be 13 in July. So you had one 12-year-old, you had two 15-year-olds, you had, 3 15-year-olds, 14, because I think Connor's still 4. Either way. And then a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So these were big kids that
Yeah.
were with us.
But this is, but these portion sizes for the kids' meals are great. I mean, this is, I could see getting the kids' butter chicken for myself, and having that and getting the side of the rice and maybe the vegetables or whatever.
But
even
let's be
getting the
honest,
Pumbaa's,
we
but
go back,
like-
we're getting the Indian bread style
Oh,
service.
we're 100% getting it again.
And then,
Sanaa lives up to the hype.
oh yeah.
And it lives up to what we had not experienced in many years. And I mean, even the bread service we hadn't had for probably 2 years or so. Like, Sanaa is legit. I know it can be a little bit out of the way to get over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. It is worth it.
It
You
is.
know, I love Nomad Lounge.
Mhm.
I love Yak and Yeti.
Mhm.
I would like to go back to Tiffin's. We've only dined there once, and we thought it was okay, but I don't think we ordered the right stuff. It is worth a break from the park, though, to head over to Sanaa for your lunch or dinner during your Animal Kingdom day.
100%.
You know, maybe you're not going to do it on a day that you're not planning to do Animal Kingdom or a resort day or whatever, but I would look at this place. It is, we talk about some of these places that we're like, they come up first when people ask us about Disney restaurants, even if we haven't dined there in 4 or 5 years. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
Because they constantly stack up and stand up to the quality and everything.
Yep.
And of course, our service was spectacular with Carson.
Oh, of course.
And yeah, it was so neat to see her in this new role and all. So super proud of her for being over there and just absolutely killing it.
Yep.
So I would venture to say we're both going to recommend Sanaa.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
And the next time, like, I want to stay in Animal Kingdom Lodge again. That's where I can see us going down to the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
grabbing a drink and getting the bread service and sitting at that bar. I want to go back.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, we will next weekend.
I know we will
to-
next weekend. We're going to do Ale and Compass Friday. We're staying at Caribbean Beach Resort with Rob and Tina. We're going to do Epcot on Saturday. I really kind of want to try to do a walk up for the bar at Space 220 on
That'd be fun.
Saturday morning.
That'd be
and
fun.
like rope drop it and show Rob and Tina
That'd be fun.
all around there. And then Friday night we're going to hit Ale and Compass. We'll probably hit like Abracadabra and show them the boardwalk area. So we're super excited about that. So thank you all so much for listening.
Yes. Thank
So you will get another dining episode coming up soon.
Ooh.
Hope you're not sick of them. Eating so much lately. All right. If you have not done so already, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And you know that Rhonda and I would be super appreciative if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.